Working on the business and not in the business is actually something that most of us fall down on. And everyone does, I think. Being MD can be quite, an owner, can be quite a lonely job, because at the end of the day, you're always at the top, always steering the ship, and everyone expects you to know exactly where you're going 24 hours a day. And actually, it's not always like that.
Well, I think the challenge that a lot of business leaders have is that they've often been parachuted, if you like, into owning a business or running a business. Maybe they didn't even set out to do it, but it's how life has developed for them. So they're not sure what they don't know. They're in that absolute situation of not knowing what they don't know. The main area that I try and help people is to give them a degree of confidence about what they're doing. And actually, in some cases, it's self-belief. They're generally doing a really good job, but they're just not always sure that they are. So I describe it sometimes as a bit like CEO school. It's giving them the knowledge, the tools, the expertise, the education to become the very best versions of themselves as the leader of the business.
UKSV are a live, hybrid and virtual event agency. We work with companies of all sizes to help get their message across using channels like events, videos and web streaming. So my background in this business, I started off in television, BBC Television as a runner. I then moved into working with a live events company. From that point of view, I then became a lead role in the sales and the production side of things, and then found myself right up to date being managing director today. So my career wasn't designed to be managing director, but that's kind of where I've ended up. For me, trying to learn the role of an MD was a challenge, but I just knew that I was passionate about what I did. I knew the company was doing the right things, and for me it was about basing what I know and what I learn around that. The transition between being, working on the tools, as it were, and delivering the product to actually running other people on it is having to get your head up above and look up a bit and be aware of what's coming over the horizon, and let other people around you deliver what they do and give them the right tools to do it. And it's too easy in a small business to be hands-on and everything, own it all, and then you look up 2 months later and go, I haven't got any more work. I've had to learn that there's a role of a managing director, and that isn't the same role as being the senior producer in an organisation in my case. So for me, they were new skills, new relationships, new ways of working that I needed to understand better. And with the relationship with NatWest, they introduced me to James right at the start. And James's approach was different to any other sort of leadership thing that I'd done before. With James, he spent time getting to know me, getting to know my personal goals, the business goals, and then spending a bit of time with the senior management team, which has allowed him to then use his skill and his knowledge to really hone on our business. So the things that we're talking about are kind of my challenges and my thoughts and my process and the business thoughts. And then he's applying the skills and techniques that you might get on a leadership course, but they're much more real and much more relevant. And actually it's a lot easier to understand when you're using them in your world and not in some sort of make-believe way or set up scenario. So for me that was really important, because I felt I was getting value almost immediately, because in James's approach, we've got a session coming up, what do you want to talk about, what's on the table at the moment? And because he knows where we're going, he's also able from an outside view to look at it and go, you're heading on a direction that might not be relevant to your plan.
My clients go on an amazing journey. I see them change as individuals. I see them grow as individuals. The companies nearly always grow pretty successfully underneath this enhanced leadership that they develop. So it makes a really big difference to them and to their teams and to their overall progress.
The business has grown since I've owned it and been in this role, which is fantastic, but it needs to build a bit further, and it needs to develop from being, so individual, and it's not just me, but others in the team, to a brand that stands for something, that stands for live events and fantastic production support, so that clients can buy the brand. And then that puts value on whether I'm in it or not, and that actually helps the end goal. Working with James has built my confidence, allowed me to help develop the team, and we've got business from it and grown.